In the midst of the science of hearing loss, it's really important to understand the impact that this has on human beings and on people's real lives. One of my favorite ways of being reminded of that is to think about the great composer Ludwig van Beethoven, who we know now was a great composer who achieved much, but he was a human being who struggled with hearing loss. And people know that now, but they don't necessarily understand what he struggled with. So when he was 32 years old, he was at a fork in his life where he was in despair, realizing that he was losing his hearing. He had terrible tinnitus, the ringing in the ears that prevented him from sleeping and communicating with his friends and colleagues. And he came to a point where he was seriously considering ending his own life, and he wrote a letter to his brothers in which he worked all of this out, and I have some of the quotations from that letter now. It's referred to as the Heiligenstadt Testament because it was written in Heiligenstadt, Austria, which is a suburb of Vienna. So just a few of the quotations are, "O ye who think or declare me to be hostile, morose, and misanthropical, how unjust you are, and how little you know the secret of what appears thus to you. At any time I resolved to surmount my isolation, oh how cruelly was I again repelled by the experience, sadder than ever, of my defective hearing, and yet I found it impossible to say to others, speak louder, shout, for I am deaf. No longer can I enjoy recreation or social intercourse, refined conversation, or mutual outpourings of thought. Completely isolated, I only enter society when compelled to do so. But what humiliation when anyone beside me hears a flute in the far distance while I hear nothing, or when others hear a shepherd singing and still I hear nothing. Such things brought me to the verge of desperation and well nigh caused me to put an end to my life. O ye who may one day read this, think that you have done me injustice, and let anyone similarly afflicted be consoled by finding one like himself, who, in defiance of all the obstacles of nature, has done all in his power to be included in the ranks of estimable artists and men."